You've said, in fact, some of the brief conversations we've had, is one of the most valuable things in your own control. And I am curious now, and Tesla investors sort of seem to rejoice at the announcement of a new CEO at Twitter, in part because they thought, well, he's going to have more time for Tesla.
That's true.
Is it true? How do you see sort of allocating your time now that you will soon no longer be the CEO of Twitter?
It was really a very, very challenging situation at the point at which the Twitter acquisition closed because, in rough terms, there was $1.5 billion of debt servicing that was added, while at the same time there was a massive cycling.
Yeah, you said you were 4 months away from bankruptcy. You're going to lose $3 billion in a year, conceivably.
Negative $3 billion cash flow and had $1 billion in the bank.
Yeah. No, that's not good.
No.
Anybody who knows anything about corporate finance knows that's bad.
No, I mean, I'd say like the analogy I was using was it's like being teleported into a plane that's in a nosedive, headed to the ground with the engines on fire and the controls don't work.
Right.
Yeah.
And you were the guy who chose
that's what it felt like.
You chose to get into the plane.
Well, I did try to exit the deal, and they wouldn't let me. I mean, it was a funny situation where when I first proposed the acquisition, they said, hell no. They adopted a poison pill, basically saying they'd rather die than be acquired. Like they'd rather chew on cyanide. And then a few months later, they're like basically have a gun to my head saying, no, you must acquire us. Yeah. I mean, that's quite a change.
It is quite a change. But you seem to think, I can figure out a way out of this until finally, I guess you realized I can't.
It was made clear to me that the decision would not come down in my favor legally.
Yeah. All right. Well, now you have a new CEO.
Yeah.
Why?
I think Linda Yaccarino is going to be great.
Why?
Twitter is very much an advertising-dependent business. Linda is obviously incredible at that, and she's just a great executive in general. My skills and interests are in technology. I'll continue to play a role advancing the software and getting the features and product stuff basically.
Right.
The general idea is Linda will operate the company and I will build products.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good.
And that will take less of your time.
Yeah, and I have that situation at SpaceX. Mm-hmm. Gwynne Shotwell, who's right. Amazing, operates the company, and I work in the sort of advanced technology,
right?
Sort of designing the new rockets and that kind of thing, and that's everyone should play to their strengths, and that's mine.
That's true. Although I wonder, in 2021, you said you spent most of your time on the development of Starship. I think
yes.
You've also been quoted, I read, or I think I heard you say actually, most of your mental energy at certain points has been on Starship.
Yes.
So I wonder, have you been diverted from Starship a little bit and will return to it as the main focus, or is it Tesla? Again, your time, I know, having tried to schedule this interview with you.
Yeah, time triage is a real thing for me.
Yeah.
In fact, I'd say that the only real currency is time. Time is the only true currency.
So where are you going to spend the currency now that you don't have to spend as much at Twitter?
I'm going to be devoting a lot more time to Tesla. Okay.
When you're launching a new product with a tight deadline, 2 weeks, Grammarly's tone suggestions can help motivate your team with a positive approach. Because
especially on the AI development. And new product development, and then and I'll also be allocating some more time to getting Starship to orbit. In the case of SpaceX, what I was able to do there was to as the Starlink constellation started working, I was able to move some of the best people from the Starlink program to the Starship program. They were, the timing kind of worked out well. We have really some of the world's best engineers at SpaceX and Tesla. Really, some incredible human beings.
There was some statistic you shared.
Yeah, before we go into the SpaceX and Tesla, if you guys take a look at it, Elon Musk is pretty honest with himself. He says he's more good with the engineering and the technology and development stuff. So that is why he hired the Linda Yakirano, Linda, so that she can run Twitter. Right? It's the same thing that he does at SpaceX. He has a female CEO. Then he himself is like CTO, Chief Technology Officer. That is pretty good at running the technology side. So it's something that is nice. When if you know yourself, right, you know what you're capable of, and you know what you're good at, definitely for sure to go for it. That will help him dedicate more of his time to Twitter, to Tesla, SpaceX, and also Twitter too. So you just focus more on the engineering side of Twitter, and as he's focusing on the technology side and manufacturing side of Tesla and SpaceX.
I think 3.6 million people applied for a job at Tesla. I wrote it down. I didn't write it down here, so it's remembered. But was that the number?
Yeah, it's crazy. There's a lot of demand.
They are. So you have 127, almost 128,000 employees, but 3.6 million people applying for a job in a year.
Yes, and I mean, there's, we would only add like say 20 or 30,000 jobs. So it's sort of the acceptance rate for Tesla is it's much more difficult to get into Tesla or SpaceX than Harvard.
Right.
The acceptance rate is
even lower.
Or
Stanford too.
Well, yeah, it's the acceptance rate is lower than the most demanding universities in the world.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Speaking of employment, though, you had 7,800 people at Twitter when the plane was nosediving. I think you're at 1,500 now.
That's
so
correct.
roughly 6,300 people. Were they all superfluous?
No, not all.
So, do you figure out which ones aren't, or is it a little late? Sometimes it gets a little late.
I mean, look, desperate times call for desperate measures. So there's no question that some of the people who were let go probably shouldn't have been let go because we simply did not have the time to figure out. We had to be, make widespread cuts to get the burn rate under control. So. So this is not to say that, hey, everyone who was let go from Twitter is like somehow terrible or something. It's just we have to, with very little information, get the headcount expenses and the non-personnel expenses down to where we're at least break even. And we're not quite at break even yet, but we're close. We need to do it fast, and if you do it fast, unfortunately, there are going to be some babies thrown out with the bathwater. So, I definitely would not want to say, disparage, anyone who is left.
But it's funny, I've heard from other tech.
Yeah, but Elon Musk, he never did bad in like letting a lot of people go at Twitter, right? He was trying to save podcasts, you just move people and you have people take on two roles at the same time. I think they're capable. They burn out their salary a little bit, and have them burn out a little bit as things stabilize, where they can start hiring more people back, and they've started hiring more people back again. So it'll get back into an equilibrium state. That it will be much better. Look at it, right? They're saving more money because I had Twitter had a lot of employees that were just there that were doing nothing. So it's a win-win. Win on both Twitter side, win on Elon Musk side, and also win on folks that are using Twitter. Since Elon Musk took over Twitter, we have had a lot of features being released as compared to when the previous year was running Twitter. There's a lot of features being released. A lot of things have been done on Twitter as compared to before. Before, I don't know, Twitter really released stuff before. I don't really know what was really blocking Twitter, preventing Twitter from releasing stuff before. So I've had a lot of stuff released nice this year as compared to before. And I really appreciate his hard work in creating sustainable living and also taking humans to Mars. Help to increase sustainability of human lives and also creating a clean house, clean atmosphere with the solar panels and also electric vehicles.